Stacey J.
And I'm Chuck Duran.
Welcome to VO Buzz Weekly, the web entertainment show all about the voiceover business.
That's right. And today we have part 2 of the Bob Bergen interview, and we're going to go there right now.
Come on.
What is the best advice you've gotten that you think has helped you advance in your career?
Two. One was from Dawes Butler, who said, it's a journey, not a destination. You got to love the journey. Because every time you think you've made it, you're going to realize there's more.
Yeah.
And every time you think I'm there, if you do think I can coast now, you're going to watch your career trickle down. Yeah. And then Paul Winchell said, never worry about money, because you're going to make it, but then you're going to lose it. But then you're going to make it, but then you're going to lose it. You've got to love this business. And you've got to get the same high at the microphone at an audition as you do at a session. You just got to love doing what you do.
Yeah.
Because if you do it for the money, it's never going to be enough. So those were the 2 bits of advice that I try to share with my students.
Yeah. That's really good. Not only that, if you do it for the money, people are not going to, you're not going to be that good. Because typically, passion plays a big role.
Absolutely.
I mean, it comes through in your reads and your enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
That sincerity is not something that you can fake.
The microphone can hear you think. It can hear your hair growing, and it knows truth.
Absolutely.
Be it solid acting or desperation. You can't audition to please anybody but yourself. If you try to please that casting director, if you try to please your agent, try to please your mom, the mic can hear this. You've got to do it to please yourself. Be available for their direction.
Sure.
But you've got to do it for the pure love of just being there and doing it.
Right.
And you got to check your ego at the door.
Yeah. Love that.
That's important.
Well, speaking of being at the mic, do you have any vocal warm-ups or rituals or things that you do to prepare your voice or keep it healthy?
I don't.
He stutters.
I do stutter for scale plus 10.
For scale plus 10.
You know what? My morning ritual is the coffee maker's on timer. I wake up, I pour the coffee, I go into my office, here's my copy, and I go into my booth. Chances are the first couple of reads aren't going to be the ones I send. I kind of warm up by just reading my copy. But I don't do, tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips. I don't do any mama mia, I don't do any of that stuff.
But we were talking earlier that you don't do, like in video games, you don't do screaming, dying things.
I will, for LucasArts, when they want me, I'm there, because they've been so very, very good to me over the years. But for the most part, if it says lots of screaming, not even for double scale, it's not worth hurting myself over.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. And I like Grether's lozenges, pastilles. I like Entertainer's Secret.
What does that do for you?
It feels good. Entertainer's Secret, if I find that I'm getting hoarse, I take a hit of that, do a slight breathe as I do it. It lubricates.
The cords.
It lubricates the cords. The Grether's pastilles have glycerin. Basically, it's all about water. When I'm working, when the director speaks, I'm sipping.
Right.
Just keeping that instrument lubricated. Right. And at the end of the day, I go home. I don't usually answer my phone. I talk all day. So I try to...
So there's a point where you go silent.
Try to, a little bit, yeah.
Daily, or is there sort of one day where you say this is my silent day, or do you...
No, for the most part, that's my daily ritual. That I don't go home with the goal to keep talking. Yeah. I'm not like, Larry Hagman has like one day a week where he just says nothing. I'm not that crazy. But this is my instrument. This is what makes my living. So I try to take care of it a little bit.
Yeah.
What are 5 things that you could not live without?
Wow, what a good question.
Besides me and Chuck.
5. Are you talking about creatively or personally?
You decide.
A little bit of both?
5 things.
Mix it up.
5 things I couldn't live without. Food. And I don't mean just food, I'm a foodie. So I love food. Friends, family, passion, and hope. Hope.
I thought he was going to say Facebook, but hope is better.
Well,
I'm glad you said
I hope I have Facebook. No, hope.
I hope I have Facebook.
I think people need hope.
Yeah, they do, man.
When doors close, you're like, man, you could end it there, but no, if you've got hope.
Yeah.
If I could add a 6, it's gratitude.
Yeah, and a 7th would be belief.
Yeah, and
an 8th would be tequila.
But wow, that's a very good question, and I'll be driving away going, oh, you should have said.
Oh,
wait a minute, I got 5 more.
Call 1-800-555.
You email us and we'll say Bob has amended.
It's a great question. It's a great question.
Thanks, man. What piece of advice could you give people out there, fans of yours or people that are trying to break into the business, a little piece of advice that you could give them to maybe help them?
if you have the slightest doubt, don't do it. And that slightest doubt can't be, will I work? Because none of us know if we're going to work tomorrow unless we're scheduled to work tomorrow.
Right.
If you know you've got it and you believe in yourself, you just got to dive in there and do it. You just got to do it. You can't do it, like we said earlier, you can't do it for the money.
Yeah.
But before you spend a dime on voiceover classes, study acting and improv. Those two things. Before you ever spend a dime on a voiceover class, be a really good actor. Improv is the best training I think anybody can spend their money on. I find that most people who do voiceover for some reason come from some kind of musical background. Be it they played piano because they were forced to as a kid, or they sang in a choir. You know, there's certain skills you got to be born with, pitch and timing. You're born with that. I think you're also born an actor, or a sculptor, or a dancer, or a producer. And I think what class does is it teaches you techniques so you can reproduce your talents at will.
Right.
But you got to have the God-given talent to begin with. I still just keep jumping all around and not answering your questions.
No,
You
you've
did.
actually answered our
You did very
questions
well,
in
Bob.
about
All right, thank you.
4 or
Very
5
good.
different
Thank you.
ways.
I speak for a
So-
living.
You answer real
pick
good,
your
Bob.
All right.
That's
I'm
good.
educated.
That was a good one.
Good. Go.
Woo! Bob Bergen.
.com.
First of all, congratulations on 25 years of teaching.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Thank
we
you.
need good teachers in the world.
Thank you very much.
What made you want to teach, and what do you love about teaching even after 25 years?
I'll try to make this quick. I never wanted to teach. I was doing a play, and a person who owned it was opening up an acting school, asked me to teach for him, and I said, thank you very much, I'm not interested. And then I got a call from the SAG Conservatory asking me to teach. And I said, why me? And they said, you were recommended by some directors. And I said, what do you pay? And they said, nothing. I said, what do you charge the actors? They said, nothing. I said, I'm there. Because if I suck, no Jewish guilt. If I was Jewish guilt, I'll be miserable. So I did that for about a year, and then I called the acting school, and I taught for them for a year, and then I started teaching on my own. What do I get out of it? I love paying it forward. I had so many really cool people in my career, the Dawes Butlers and the Casey Kasems, and people I studied with, Brian Cummings and Ginny Tyler, and I like giving back, and I dig seeing talent. And I dig helping talent. I teach 3 classes a year in LA. That's it. I don't do it for the money. I do it because I really enjoy it. So I really just dig watching other people succeed and progress.
Wow.
Well, and
That's
your
really
students
cool,
are
man.
doing really great.
Some are.
Yeah.
Some go to a class and realize this isn't for me, and because I'm really honest, I'm
But that's
nurturing
helping.
honest.
That's a helping thing to tell somebody.
I'd want honesty if I was when I was in classes, and we were talking about this earlier. If a teacher said that was good, why was it good? I want to know the whys. I can hold on to the why it was good.
Yeah. So you can do it again and figure out what's working.
Exactly. So I just really, I get excited when I see talent.
Well, and you guys work together. I mean, he trains them, and you.
And he trains them.
I train them, and I say, go to the Obi-Wan of demos. Use the Force. And you put together the demos.
Put them out there,
And I have to be really, really honest, and not to butter you up, but of late you've done some amazing demos for some of my students, and they've gotten work, and God bless you.
That's what I do.
That's what we do. Yeah.
Thank you, man, for sending me such great people. I mean, when Bob gets done with you, you're basically ready to get out there and start doing stuff.
Not necessarily.
Well, I don't know
if
about
you're not,
that.
he'll
You know what
let
I
you
do?
know
I give everybody a private evaluation at the end of the 8 weeks. Here's where I think you need to go from here. Have you thought of plumbing? Whatever I think. I've never been that rude, but I'd say 99% of the time I'm going to say, listen, I think you need this, this, and this. It's very rare. I mean, I can count on one hand the people in my class that after that first time at the mic, I went, they've got it. The Flynn brothers, Barden and Quentin Flynn.
Yeah.
I was like, brilliance. From the moment they walked up to the microphone, they had the it factor. JP Karliak?
Yes.
Brilliant. From the minute he was at the mic. But, it doesn't happen every single time. But I've never told anybody, don't pursue this, because lousy actors get breaks every day, and it's not my responsibility from holding that back.
Yeah.
But I will be honest and say, I don't think you're ready.
Yeah.
Today.
Well, I think we need to hear that. If we're true pros and we have passion for what we do, we need to hear that. That's the only way you're going to get better.
I also tell people it's only my opinion, just my opinion, but my opinion is not yet.
Right, but that you're not ready is going to deflate some people and inspire other people.
And I think
so
that
it just depends on which road you're going to go.
If it inspires, if enough people who know they're good here know and go, I don't care, I'm still going to do it, then they are made for this business.
Yeah. There you go. Well, speaking of being made for this business, tell us how we can find out more about your classes and where you're teaching and.
My class, pop me an email. BobBergen.com is my website. There's a million emails on that. You can pop me there. I'm on Facebook. Bob Bergen on Facebook. You can pop me a message there. Friend me. I like friends.
He likes friends. This is your opportunity.
He's a friendly guy.
I've got like 3,700. I think at 5,000 they say you can't be friends with anybody else ever again. Just pop me a note. I teach all over the country. New York this fall, end of September.
Okay.
So that's a technique class, how to create characters. So yeah, just call me, email me. I'm there.
Yeah.
What a cool guy, man.
Yeah. You'll be getting phone calls now from people.
Oh yeah.
I am in the phone book.
See, there you go.
He is in the phone book.
That
karma
But now you don't need it because his number is area code 9.
But here,
Put that up on the screen.
under my real name.
Yeah, under his real name.
Because
See,
Bob
you're not
Bergen
even
is not
making
my
him
real
work
name.
it.
It's not my real name.
That's your stage name?
Somebody had my name when I joined SAG.
Whoa.
I went down to SAG to pay my initiation, and this lady with nails this big, she's typing in, and she goes, "Somebody's got your name." I said, "What does that mean?" She goes, "It means you need another name." I said, "Well, can I think about it for a while?" She goes, "Initiation goes up tomorrow."
Whoa.
And I said, "Well," she starts typing away. She goes, "You like Bergen?" I went, "Well," she goes, "I like Bergen."
As in Candace?
She goes, "You're not Bob Bergen." I went,
She.
"Okay." So I called my mom and I said, "I'm now Bob Bergen." She goes, "Why?" I said, "Because the lady with the nails told me." I called Don Pitts. "I'm now Bob Bergen." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because the lady with the nails told me." Okay.
Yeah, but you know what? The bank teller. So maybe the lady with the nails will somehow reappear in your life.
I've got one credit with my real name, and that's the movie Gremlins. Buy it. I get paid if you buy it. So, yeah.
Are we allowed to say your real name?
I think some things need to be a little bit of a struggle for people.
Mystery.
Look
you
it
know
up.
what? Look it up, search it out. If you find out,
Nancy Drew is going to
Exactly. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So speaking of SAG, Screen Actors
Yes.
Guild,
Ooh.
Yes.
very, very big deal. The Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA, after many, many years,
Merged.
Yeah. And you have been on the front lines of union work for a long time.
For a long time, yeah.
And especially in this merger, you were right there. So this is pretty
is
huge.
big.
What do you think this is going to do for the industry?
Nothing but good.
Yeah.
Because we had two unions where each union had the same work contracts.
Yeah.
So it gave the producers an opportunity, if this one was asking for too much, to go to this one and keep those actors or those members working with a lesser contract. That can never happen again. We've merged. We can never undercut each other ever again. So it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, what else can you tell us about the merger? I mean, for those people that, I have to say this because I think this is actually important. I know there's a lot of people out there that aren't in the union, and for them, maybe this doesn't mean a lot, but I'm telling you, if you're going to get to the pro level at any point in your life, you're going to need to know this stuff.
Sure.
But now getting into the union is different than it
The
used to
union's
be,
been trying to merge now for how long?
Literally since the 50s.
Since the 50s.
Yeah, as far as I know.
They just okayed the merge.
Yeah.
by a unanimous
Bob
vote.
has, for the most part, probably always been against the merge. Is that correct?
10 years ago, I voted no.
He voted no. This time around, he was a huge advocate.
Well, here's what happened.
Yes.
I knew that this was coming up again, and I was all prepared to vote no. So I ran for the board of SAG, and I ran for the board of AFTRA, and I wanted to be there because if I still felt no, I wanted to be loudly say to the other board members, bad. And in the trenches for literally for the last 3 years, but on the board for the last year, I was like, wow, no, this is good. And I don't think we were ready 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think everything happens for a reason. I think we're better prepared. Circumstances, with the last merger being voted down, our pensions are eroding, competing contracts with the same unions. It's a mess. So the only way to stop eroding is to merge and move forward. So I was for it.
So you had a big change of heart.
Huge change of heart. Huge change of heart. And the thing is, the bottom line is when SAG was formed, during the Depression, the studio said to these actors, we're never going to have minimums. We're never going to have decent work conditions. We're in the middle of the Depression. We can get anybody to play a cowboy.
Right.
And you got to take chances. You got to take risks. And this is a risk, but I think it's a good one.
But it is going to have a bit of a transition period, so people need to recognize that.
And there's
it's not going to be an overnight thing.
There's a clause in this contract that says we invite change. As the business changes and adapts, so will we. And the previous constitutions had that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to merge if they didn't. So. Change is a constant. We'll be changing with the business.
Well, we were pro-merger, and so thank you for all that you did to help move that forward and get the word out. And there were a lot of voice actors in the, Scott Rummel, Bo Weaver, Scott Brick, Tess Masters, that really went out there and championed.
And a lot of people who weren't, and I respect them. I understand their concerns, but gosh darn it, I'm sorry, we needed to take this chance because status quo was killing us.
Yeah.
So, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Bob, tell us about some of your current projects that you're working on right now.
Current projects.
Yes.
Looney Tunes Show was picked up for season 2, so we're in the process of recording that. I got a film I can't talk about. I hate when that happens too because
it happens.
But it's so elusive and makes you more mysterious.
I know.
It's a big film and it's a great one.
Yeah.
And you would want to know what it is.
But when you can come back.
Exactly. Yeah. I've got like 4 projects I can't even talk about right now. That well, 3 of them are features. So just thank God for work. That's all I can say.
Thank God for work.
What about Skittles?
My gosh, you know about that?
Can you talk about Skittles?
We're Alive. Wow.
Yeah.
That's got a huge fan base that blows me away. Yeah, it's a zombie podcast called We're Alive, and it's a really well written radio type drama, and I play a character named Skittles, and I don't even know that much about the character. All I know is that he's got problems, and he saw something.
Okay.
So he's really skittish. I love playing this character because as an actor, we want as much information to play the character as possible.
Yeah.
But you only get so much when you're doing this. I don't see future scripts, but I'm having a blast. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll probably be at Comic-Con to talk about that and other things too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
All right. So it's super secret projects that will be revealed later.
Lots of commercials and.
Yeah.
I'm busy. I can't complain.
That's cool. If you go to Bob's website, you can check out some of the stuff that he has done, and you'll be like, okay, this guy does a lot.
I'll drive away from here going, oh, why didn't you mention that, you schmuck?
That's okay. You can call us, and maybe we'll add it via...
There you go.
Little
graphic
teleprompter.
What Bob
sexist
meant
thing.
to say was, we do that for Chuck all the time.
God
what Chuck
love you.
meant to say.
That's right.
What gave you the idea to come up with your one-man show?
Interesting.
First of all, let me just say this real quick.
Yeah.
I've seen Bob's one-man show. It's freaking insane. If you ever have the opportunity, friend him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Have the opportunity to see his one-man show, you will die. It's so good.
Thank you. I wanted to write a sitcom about being a tour guide at Universal Studios. And I started putting this together with a co-writer who said, would you ever want to present this like a one-man show and play all these characters because it's easier to sell the product that way. I said, great. And as we're writing this, he said, well, you know what? Why don't we make it about you? And why don't we do it in 3 acts? The first act is you want to be Porky Pig. The second act, you were a tour guide. The third act, you got Porky Pig. I said, okay, great. That's what we did. And I did it for an invited audience in Burbank just to get it off my feet and on our, you just do it.
Sure.
I mean, we're talking like reading off the cards. I didn't memorize anything. Videotaped it. My co-writer was friends with Kenny Rogers' manager and showed it to him to ask for advice. And he said, Kenny needs an opening act for the rest of his California tour. Hired me to be his opening act.
I love it.
Came back to LA. Did it a couple of times. Did it I paid for it. A producer saw it and said, I'd like to produce this. And the first time I did it was in North Hollywood at the Whitmore Lindley Theater. Ran for 3 months, and then I started taking it on the road. Done it on cruise ships. I've done it all over the country. I did it in LA. I guess it's been about 2 or 3 years since the last time I did it here. So honestly, and I never did anything with the tour guide thing.
Wow.
It just kind of it took off.
Maybe it was layered in there somewhere.
Yeah.
It's certainly they're layered, but I never did anything with that sitcom idea. So I'd like to.
You probably would have gotten written up if you had.
I know, seriously.
For insubordination.
Oh please, God. But that was the genesis of it, and I love doing it. I change it all the time. You know, because things happen, and you want to add it and take stuff out. So yeah, it was fun.
Wow,
but thank you.
That's so cool. Is there anywhere they can go to actually maybe see that or see a version of that?
There's a trailer on YouTube.
Okay.
It's called Bob Bergen. So here's the deal. The story of a nice Jewish boy who wanted to be Porky Pig. And it might be on my website too. I have to look. I don't know.
You're in the process of updating your website.
I'm in the process of updating my website. Yeah. So it's online.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's check it out.
Good. So in addition to your Daytime Emmy and your Annie Award nominations, you in 2007 were awarded the Jewish Big Brother of the Year.
I was indeed. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what was it about that organization that you were drawn to? Or?
You know, it's easy to write a check when you want to support a charity. I think it's more important to be hands-on. And my mother worked at Jewish Federation, and I knew about Jewish Big Brothers. So for about 25 years, for 2 different kids, I was a Big Brother, and it was extremely rewarding, extremely challenging, but probably one of the most important things I've ever done is to be there for kids. I really,
Do you know where they are now? Have you ever?
You know, you lose track. You know, they become adults, and if they're watching, email, call me. But these kids need people. You know, and they don't go into this program because they're necessarily well-adjusted and healthy. They need guidance. So even if you think you're not making a difference, you probably are.
Yeah.
How cool to have Porky Pig guide you.
You know what? My last little brother didn't give a damn.
He did.
Took him to Warner Brothers to a session. I'm with Tom Kenny. I'm with Billy West, and I was like, "This is Tom Kenny. He's SpongeBob." And my little brother Ryan's like, "Are we going skateboarding soon?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, guys. He doesn't care about me either." So yeah, could care less. What can you do?
I'm sure you impacted him in other ways.
I hope so.
Let's hope.
You have been one of the few voice actors who's been invited to the White House.
There's a handful of us that were invited to the White House. Yeah, I know.
How did that happen?
Well, I did a radio play with Barbara Bush, and she wasn't there, and I wasn't paid. It was for her charity. And like a few months later, I got this big, thick invitation to go to a reception at the White House. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, right. I would too.
You thought Casey Kasem had
said it was a very expensive joke. I'm like, "Hi, I'm calling to RSVP to the White House," and they said, "We need to get fingerprinted and send it to Sacramento." I'm like, "Oh, it's real."
Wow.
So I took my mom.
Aww.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of a cute story." It's chaperoned by the Marines. And this young Marine comes up to me and my mom, and he goes, "Sir, I have to tell you that last week we had a state dinner with Prince Charles and Lady Diana, and we've hosted receptions with Elizabeth Taylor and lots of celebrities, but wow, Porky Pig and his mother, this is really big." And my mom is pinching me. She's like pinching me like, "Is this real? Is this real?" And before we left, I went to the restroom, and I came back, and my mom says, "What did you do?" I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You're thick." I took hand towels and toilet paper. They had the presidential seal, and I gave them away as souvenirs, and I still have a few. But she goes, "You can't do that." I said, "Mom, it's toilet paper. You're supposed to take this." She goes, "You're supposed to leave it."
The taxpayer.
I paid for it. That's what I said, Mom. We paid for this toilet paper. Wow. And she goes, "They're going to search you." And I said, "Well, you think they're going to take back their toilet paper?"
What is that? I have a runny
you go
nose.
to that one Marine and.
Hey, dude, I've got some paper. He's like, "Don't worry about it."
Yeah, the food didn't quite agree
exactly. And I said, and I said, "Mom, I'm not taking the silverware."
You see?
But I wanted to.
Yeah, you wanted to. Yeah.
But truth, you didn't take anything other than that?
A chocolate that was shaped like the Capitol, but it melted before I got out of there.
Because the guilt of stealing.
I know. Yeah. I wasn't guilty. I was like you.
Hilarious.
I paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
About your parents, man, they must be incredibly proud of what you've accomplished, especially knowing that since you were 5, you wanted to do this.
I had really supportive parents. I think anybody who's successful, especially in show business, you got to have a really healthy foundation at home. We had one rule: I had to keep my grades to a C, which was okay with me because I wanted to be Porky Pig and he didn't need geometry, so I can keep that as a C. Yeah. They're great. They've been supportive. They used to drive me to my voiceover classes. They paid for them. I think like any parent, who of a kid who goes into show business, they hope they're successful, and they've they've been nothing but supportive. So you know.
Well, I mean, they were actually instrumental in you being where you're at. I mean, your dad giving you the white pages.
I know. And my dad, I think, wanted to do this too. Yeah. I think my dad used to always play with funny voices and always wanted to do this.
Yeah. Bob, what do you still hope to accomplish in your career?
Wow. People ask me that all the time, and I never know what the answer is because I'm living my dream daily to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't want to retire. I don't have to. I mean, we travel with microphones today. Yeah. So what I hope to accomplish is to keep doing everything I love. That's honestly. Cool. I know that sounds vague, but that's it.
No, but that's good, man. Do you actually do auditions and stuff on the road?
Sure.
On your little get up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Wow,
and thank God we can today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, with a $100 microphone and a free recording software, anybody can.
You do it on a laptop or an iPad? Or
I'm doing laptop now, and I'm transferring to iPad soon, and I'm so excited because I found out you can do it that way.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's really
totally
cool.
I'm going to Europe in a couple of months. I won't be doing it there. I gotta get away sometimes.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, it's nice to be able to continue working and auditioning on the road. So sure.
What do you think is the one thing, if you could narrow it down to one thing, that propelled you the most to get you to where you're at today?
Besides your talent.
Obviously.
I wanted it so badly. I think just sheer passion and drive. I really wanted this more than anybody else. And I'm sure there's other people who say the exact same thing, but they're probably successful too.
Yeah.
I really wanted this badly. And I don't take no for an answer. I mean, I also know you don't have to work for everybody.
Yeah.
You're not going to book everything, but I really, really wanted this. I didn't want anything else. So, and I looked forward. I never really looked at competition. I never looked at statistics. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you practiced a lot, right?
And still do.
And you still does.
Yeah. Wow. I still does. Yeah, I mean, my audition is my practice. I practice with my students. I can't direct myself the way I can direct my students. And
I'm sure being a teacher makes you a better actor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I learned so much from my students. Absolutely.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So just to close, first of all, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. This has been great.
But if you could just turn around and look where you've been, what would you say to your 20-year-old self?
I would say you're right. I would say enjoy the journey, even the mistakes. They're gonna work in your favor. Mm-hmm. I would say don't put a top on that goal list. Keep it going. And when you reach that, I got Porky Pig when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And my parents took me out to celebrate, and I was depressed because I was like, what do I do now? And my mom said, you've been stuttering since you were 5 years old. You eat your dinner, you shut up, and you just keep having fun. So that's what I do. I just keep having fun.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Well, thank you for touching so many hearts, man, for being such a great guy, and for doing what you do, man. I mean, I talk to people that have worked with you or that know you, and everybody respects you so much.
Oh, that's really sweet. I appreciate that.
And they have nothing but incredibly nice things to say about you, and now we all know why.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on VO Buzz Weekly,
Thanks,
Bob.
man.
We really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah.
Can I say the line?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
I won't charge you.
See you, everybody.
Hey guys, I'm Bob Bergen, and if it's Sunday, it's VO Buzz Weekly, and you gotta watch because I watch every Sunday. Some of my best friends, some of my most admired talent, and Chuck and Stacy. It doesn't get any better than that.
VO Buzz Weekly, folks.
Well, Bob Bergen rocks, and we are all out of time for today, but be sure and tune in next week for another awesome episode of VO Buzz Weekly.
Yeah, and go to VOBuzzWeekly.com and send us your questions and comments, plus like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at VO Buzz Weekly. You guys take care until next time, and just remember, you always have time for a little buzz.